Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the press conference by the Chief Executive. Let's first hear from the Chief Executive. Good morning. Last Wednesday, I delivered my third policy address. I'd like to, first of all, thank you all reporters for the extensive report and analysis over the week to help the public better understand the content of my policy address. After the delivery of the PA, I myself and my team have attended a number of press conferences, interviews. I have also attended the CE's question and answer session at the Legislative Council. The secretaries of departments have also attended panel meetings to listen to members' views. Hong Kong is now at a critical time of economic transformation. The government's job is to point out the direction, identify problems, and forge consensus. Chapter 1 of the policy address talked about reform and embrace changes to achieve prosperity. We don't reform and change for the sake of it. We want to achieve certain goals. We need to set these goals taking into account the local situations and the situation of the times. We have to strike the right balance. It's the duty of the Hong Kong SAR government, to reform, but we need the participation of all quarters of society. The public realize the advantage and the merits of changes. Under the new industrialization subsidy program, we have received applications covering many areas: food processing, manufacturing, garment, textile, manufacturing, and medical devices. We have received applications covering 70 production lines in improvement of quality. The theme of the policy address is reform for enhancing development and building our future together. I would like to talk to you about the rationale behind setting this theme. I have delivered so far 3 policy addresses. Each has taken into account the situation at that time before the theme and goals are set. The 3 policy addresses are connected, evolving over time. In 2022, it was the first year after I've taken office. Hong Kong was plagued by the epidemic. That's why we wanted to ride the storm together. So the theme was charting a brighter tomorrow for Hong Kong. In 2023, we have seen the end of the epidemic. That's why we wanted our society to recover, to bring smiles back to people's faces. The theme was a vibrant economy for a caring community. 2024, Hong Kong's security has been protected. We have to go all out to do better. That's why we want to reform and bring changes and shine. That's why the theme is reform for enhancing development and building our future together. I attach importance to people's livelihood and well-being. That's why I have launched 8 measures to support the SMEs. I make proposals for supporting infrastructure to enhance care for elderly people, PWDs, women, children, ethnic minorities. I've enhanced employment protection. I propose to revamp the Employees Retraining Board. We will enhance reform on the healthcare sector, the function of the Department of Health, the Primary Healthcare Commission. We want to promote development of Chinese medicine. We will support the planning and development of the 3rd medical school. Housing is a key area. In a policy address, we have put in place measures to enhance the property ladder. We combat abuse of public housing resources. We propose the basic housing units to replace inadequate subdivided units. We welcome comments. There will be in-depth discussions at the TMHK. All these will assist the government in formulating policies. Other than the number of measures to enhance existing industries, we also focus on identifying new growth areas. We'll continue to develop the 8 centers, including the centers for logistics, shipping, and financial services. There are also new areas, say, for example, development of international gold trading platform, commodity trading ecosystem, and high-end shipping and professional services, and to build the River Loop into a demonstration and pilot area, as well as the development of low-altitude economy. The London Metal Exchange is looking into including Hong Kong as a location for storage and delivery. They think that Hong Kong is a good location. The banking sector and the relevant trade agree that Hong Kong is a good place to develop gold storage and trading. This will consolidate Hong Kong's status as a financial services shipping center. The policy address is the embodiment of collective wisdom. I thank my team for putting in the effort to come up with the policy address. The government will implement various measures. Through the philosophy of the policy address, I believe that as long as we work together to seize opportunities to reform and change, we will be able to scale new heights and build a better future for Hong Kong people. Now the floor is open for questions. Raise your hands when you're identified. Identify your media outlet. Don't ask more than 2 questions. The lady in white. I'm from Hong Kong 01. There are a number of universities found that there are cases of bogus academic qualification. An agency was found to have be involved in it. Do you think the law enforcement agency should seek assistance from mainland authorities and work jointly to combat this issue? Would you draw reference from your effort to combat abuse of public housing resources to engage police officers to help? Well, with the demerit points for taxis put in place, there are still some taxis engaging in illicit activities by overcharging passengers. Are you going to do something about it? Mainland visitors often complain about taxi service here. This affects Hong Kong's image. Well, have you looked into the figures in relation to the demerit points? Some legislators have proposed creating new routes for buses and minibuses to help. What's your view on that? Provision of fake news and misinformation is against the law. So we act in accordance with the law to combat any illegal conduct. We attach importance in building Hong Kong into an international education hub. We also promote Hong Kong as a brand for students to come to study. So we put in place effective measures. I am aware that there are cases involving unscrupulous agencies engaging in illicit behavior to make money. As soon as we find these cases, we will take action. We'll work with mainland authorities to do it. I believe that majority of students are law-abiding. Hong Kong universities themselves need to enhance and strengthen their systems in verification of academic qualifications from applications. We are talking about a huge number of applications, but if there are contraventions, law enforcement agencies will take action. Hong Kong is very attractive in terms of our tertiary education, especially for our Belt and Road countries and Middle Eastern countries. So Hong Kong has the condition to become an international education hub. We have scholarships in place. We'll all work together. The government will promote. We will combat illegal activities. I see that universities have strengthened their vetting process. They have identified some dodgy cases as well. Your question about illegal activities of taxis, we have introduced the demerit system for taxis. If a taxi driver breaks the law, if they have been deducted 15 points, there will be a suspension of their license for 6 months. The law has come into effect. Actions have been taken. We announced results, so there is a deterrence effect. So far, 4 taxi drivers has seen 10 points deducted under the system. There's also refusal of hire as well as overcharging. I believe that with the vigorous effort taken by law enforcement agencies, we will see some results. We encourage people who have gone through an unpleasant experience to make a report to us. In areas where there is a huge demand for taxis, we will disseminate more information about fares and numbers to call to report a case. In relation to opening more public transport routes at tourist hotspots, the Transport and Logistics Bureau will keep in view the situation. We try to strike a balance. The government is actively looking into installation of cameras inside the compartment of a taxi. The TLB will conduct the study and come up with recommendations afterwards. We will have new taxi fleets. I believe that next year, early or in the middle of next year, there will be taxi fleets. With good management, I believe that quality service will be offered. That is also what the trade would like to see. We have received a number of applications. It's very well received. We have so far approved 5 fleets. There will be good management of the fleets in relation to the operation qualities as well as publicity. I believe that with proper management, the illegal activities will not be rampant. When someone breaks the rules, actions will be taken. I believe that we're talking about a handful of black sheep. Majority of taxi drivers would like to deliver good service. I do believe that with the taxi fleet, with proper management, the situation will improve.
The lady in the last row.
A few questions from RTHK. Last year, you set a total of 150 indicators for a specified task and completed all of them but 6 in your policy address. And this year, 138 indicators. How do you see the success rate for last year, and how many of them the government can complete this year? And for the second question, as the first phase of disposable plastics ban is now in full force, what can businesses expect to happen in terms of enforcement action, and when the second phase could begin? Thank you.
Well, I set indicator for the purpose of, first of all, ensuring that the result-oriented culture will be fully established and practiced in the government. This is a new policy which was introduced when I assumed office in 2022. I'm glad to see that overall the performance in this area has been satisfying my requirement. Last year, there were 6 items in which they did not meet the original target time, but there are reasons which I think I can accept, because the purpose of setting all these indicators is to ensure that we produce the results we want, and also if there are situations where we can produce even better results and some time may be taken to ensure that, I think that is a reasonable thing to do. So 6 out of 150, I think it is a result that I think conforming to my requirement. One more important thing of setting all these indicators is indicators are means, right? Indicators are not themselves an end. So we must see how these indicators will work for us. What is important other than the number that I have indicated to you, i.e. that over 140 targets have been met satisfactorily, it is also important to look for other indicators which come out very objectively. And these are international indicators. As I have mentioned in my policy address, all these results, the purpose is to check whether the policy directives have been correctly set. Because I believe if I set the policy directives in the right direction, then I will reach my goal eventually, which will mean overall good for Hong Kong. I'm glad to see that in this almost 2.5 years governance, and also the new measures that we have introduced, the position of Hong Kong as an international financial center has increased 1 position. So we have come back to number 3, as the top number 3 as an international financial center. So the measures we have taken are bringing results. And also in regard to talents, the positions of competitiveness has actually increased 7 positions. And we have become within the top 10 in regard to talent attraction. And also overall competitiveness internationally, we have moved up to 2 positions. So we are the 5th competitive economy. So we have the indicators I have set in the policy address, which are used to check whether the policy directions are set rightly, and also we do produce a result-oriented government. And if there are things that we can do even better after the first indicators were set, and then we proceed in that direction, then I think it is the results that I want, because I want to repeat again, indicators are means to ensure that we achieve the end result we want. And internationally, I think also these very objective indicators have shown that the policy directives have been set in the right direction, and thanks to the efforts of the government and also, I think, a community as a whole, we have actually produced good results and good success in some very important areas. And regarding this plastic-free culture we want to build, we have already finished the first phase, which was the 6-month adaptation period for the first phase of plastic products to be, first of all, no longer be provided and also not to be offered for sale. I think these 6-month adaptation period has gone on smoothly. Generally, I think the culture has been built. But of course, if after this adaptation period, there are still occasions where the requirements have not been followed, we will take enforcement action. But I think it is important to know that changing culture in this area takes really quite some time. So my policy is, while we need to have punishment, but mainly I want this behavioral change as one that will be taken aboard by the majority of the people. So it's not punitive heavy, rather it is both through allowing people to change behavior. So the community have more or less accepted this plastic-free culture. And also, I'm glad to see that there are good results in the catering sector, in the building management sector, in the hotel sectors, which indicated that there have been a lot of disposable cutlery saved as a result of this plastic-free culture we want to build. And also, we will try to help industries or businesses to go through this process. So we will give people a reasonable period to correct. And the response department, environmental protection department, has already indicated we will give 10 days for people to correct if it is discovered during their checks. And of course, no correction. If no correction is taken after 10 days, then enforcement action will be taken, and he will be punished in accordance of the law. As regard to future, I think we want to go on to ensure that this plastic-free culture is more entrenched. So we will, first of all, prepare society and the businesses, particularly when we decide as to how we will go to the next stage, i.e., whether there is sufficient alternative products available in the market for society to move smoothly into the next stage. And more importantly, affordable prices. Because what we learned from the first phase is, despite the fact that we all subscribe to this plastic-free culture, it is an important change of behavior. We also want businesses to be able to go through the process in a smooth manner, and people will be paying an affordable price for all these change of behavior. So these are the serious considerations EEB will bear in mind to design how we proceed further.
好，下一道提問。Okay.
Next question, the lady in the second row. I'm from TVB. The FS said previously that in the second half of the year he will visit the Middle East. So what expectations do you have for this visit? Previously, the SAR governments visited the Middle East a number of times. Any update on the results? Yesterday, Kevin Yeung talked about the monkeys in isolation. Their condition has been changing, going up and down. Well, have you received any updates? The new 2 cases, are they also myeliodosis? I have led a delegation to visit Middle East countries. In my visit, I have brought representatives from professionals and the business sector. The aim was to consolidate our trade network and to expand our economic potential. The result was positive. Since we have opened the door to mutual visits with Middle East countries, we have had a number of activities. There was the recent Belt and Road Forum. A large number of Middle East countries The government officials and businessmen took part in the forum. There are business activities that have started. I visited some companies there. There are products, say new energy, automobile, have entered the Middle East market. In terms of the financial market, I propose that hopefully our ETFs will be listed in their market and theirs in ours. So the result is positive. Promotion of bilateral exchange and frequent government visits will bring about closer relationship. We have seen some positive results, some in tourism, some relating to the hotel industry. Contracts have been signed. These contracts are in relation to cooperation. We don't just promote ourselves in the Middle East. We also do it in Belt and Road countries. I visited ASEAN. We want to enhance our liaison and relationship with ASEAN. So we help some countries, say Central Asia, to develop the markets. We want to expand the possibilities as far as possible. Our work has been positively received. You asked about the zoological and botanical gardens and the death of animals. The Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism responded swiftly. In the first instance, the problem was contained to stop it from spreading. Monitoring measures were put in place. Autopsy, examinations and tests have been expedited. The result was instantly disseminated to the general public. We'll continue with our monitoring work. We want to make sure that we are alive to the situation. So far, we know that these cases are melioidosis cases. We monitor the situation to ensure that everything is within our control. Updates will be announced. The SCST has delivered what I expected. We'll give you any updates if there is any. That concludes the press conference. Thank you.